Hello everyone, this is Kirby Clements. This is my alternative option video analysis for Unit 3, and this piece is by Ellsworth Kelly, and it is titled 3 Panels, Orange, Dark Gray, Green. It was done in 1986, and it is oil on canvas, or rather 3 canvases. And I want to go back over the interesting note of how this work, considering what it is as we talk about it and its significance, as far as how it was listed in MoMA and how it was listed in a text that I constantly go back to from a previous art class entitled Art Since 1940, Strategies of Being. So MoMA lists this with oil on canvas 3 panels, overall measurements of 9 foot 8 inches by 34 foot 4.5 inches. From the text Art Since 1940, Strategies of Being, the work is listed as oil on canvas. And as you'll see here, we have the different measurement listings. I found this interesting in that as we get into Ellsworth Kelly's work and his purpose behind the work, this is exactly kind of what he wanted. This differentiation that I ran across in just gathering the correct measurements. As in contrast again from MoMA's listing, it's oil on canvas 3 panels, and from the text, it's just listed as oil on canvas. I found that humorous, and I think again that Kelly would have liked that contrast, as you'll see. Here we have a series of Kelly's works, just a snapshot of what he did with color field, hard edge painting, and minimalism. And I wanted to just show this snapshot to reference other works that he's done, and then back to the original work that we're going to discuss, which again is 3 panels, orange, dark gray, and green. So back to the work. Kelly was a painter, sculptor, and printmaker, but preferred to be called an artist. He lived and worked in Spencertown, New York, born in 1923 and passed in 2015. He was highly associated with minimalism, hard edge painting, and color field painting. From the Getty records listed on MoMA.org, Ellsworth Kelly's introduction states, and I quote, "American abstract painter who worked with large forms of luminous color, often on shaped canvases." From the text that I drew from a lot on this analysis, titled Art Since 1940, Strategies of Being, in the chapter titled Object / Concept / Illusion Painting, and I quote, "By the end of the 60s, a number of artists had begun methodically separating the work of art into overlays of distinct systems, like medical specialists isolating the vascular system or the network of endocrine glands for a focused evaluation. Mel Bachner began using mathematical formulas to derive the forms in his paintings, while Robert Mangold played off physical qualities of the object against pictorial concepts or illusions." And I found that reference to Mel Bachner and his use of mathematical formulas to derive the forms in his paintings, obviously very valid to the golden mean discussions that we have here and that relevance. And back to the text quote here, quote, "For Ellsworth Kelly, the whole picture had become the unit in hard-edge style of painting as early as 1958. At the beginning of the 50s, Kelly had already evolved a style of painting in large, flat, hard-edged forms, juxtaposed, rather than interacting, on big rectilinear canvases. Nevertheless, his stress on dividing the entire space of a painting, juxtaposing flat forms on a plane, rather than arranging them within a composition, resulted in an articulation of the surface as a single field of color, which in turn became the form. From Kelly on this particular form of work, and I quote, "By removing the content, brush marks, subject matter, etc., from my work, I shifted the visual reality of painting to include the space around it." As far as Kelly's influences, from the text by John Copland's entitled Ellsworth Kelly, and I quote, "Kelly was first influenced by the art and architecture of the Romanesque and Byzantine eras while he was studying in Paris. His introduction to Surrealism and Neoplasticism influenced his work and caused him to test the abstraction of geometric forms." On the flow of this particular piece, what I like about it so much, besides him using the entire space, the wall is indeed part of the piece, has to be there for the piece. The color of the wall, extremely important in regard to the three panels. But as well, the flow from left to right that I see. We have a tumble. There's movement. The curve here, we have a downshift here. It's an arch. This downshift line sends us down here, in which we know will most likely catapult off here. It's a flow. It's a line movement, left to right. In the definition of hard edge painting, and I quote from the Tate glossary, hard edge painting is an approach to abstract painting that became widespread in the 1960s and is characterized by areas of flat color with sharp, clear, or hard edges. The term hard edge painting was coined by Californian critic Jules Langster in 1959. He used to describe the work of those abstract painters, particularly of the west coast of America, who reacted to the more painterly or gestural forms of abstract expressionism by adopting a consciously impersonal approach to paint application. Their paintings were made up of monochromatic fields of clean-edged color, which reinforced the flatness of the picture surface. This style of hard-edged geometric abstraction refers back to the work of Piet Mondrian and Joseph Albers. It can be seen as a subdivision of post-painterly abstraction, which in turn emerged from color field painting. In reference to his own work, Kelly said in an interview in 1996, and I quote, "I think what we all want from art is a sense of fixity, a sense of opposing the chaos of daily living. This is an illusion, of course. Canvas rots, paint changes color, but you keep trying to freeze the world as if you could make it last forever. In a sense, what I've tried to capture is the reality of flux, to keep art an open, incomplete situation, to get at the rapture of seeing." Hey guys, sorry I went over a few minutes. I wanted to include enough historical reference in this analysis to show the significance of the artist, as well as show the tie-ins and the relationship between other aspects of painting, particularly the ones that were moving and going along in the 50s and the 60s and brought about an entire era that I'm fascinated with. So thanks for watching, and see you guys next time.